What if the calm you want is hiding behind the thing you always skip? That thing you skip might be a slow breath, a quiet moment, or a short pause before reacting. We skip it because we think we need more time, more speed, or more distraction. But when you give yourself that small space, you begin to notice patterns, and you can choose differently. This simple act reduces stress step by step. It makes your decisions clearer, your voice softer, and your day less full of regrets. The real surprise is how small the change can be, and how big its effect becomes over time. This matters because chasing speed often keeps us stuck in the same cycle of quick fixes and shallow calm. Choosing a small pause is a quiet rebellion, a brave, steady habit that builds inner peace. This isn't only English practice, it's practice for life. So if you're shadowing me today, get ready. You're not just learning English, you're learning a practice that helps you stay steady when life gets noisy. Let's dive in. Why is speed such a problem? When we move too fast, we rarely feel what is really happening inside. Speed makes feelings blurry, like a photo taken while running. We might become busy, but not truly present. The fast life trains us to react, not reflect. We react with searching, scrolling, buying, or hiding. These reactions can become habits, and habits shape our days. Over time, constant movement keeps us from healing. Healing needs attention, and attention needs time. Slowing down gives you room to name feelings, to breathe into them, and to learn from them. It teaches you that feeling sad, angry, or bored is not a failure. These emotions are signals, like a light that tells you something needs care. When you slow, you can listen to these signals without blame. Then you decide, will I soothe myself or will I seek a quick distraction? Choosing self-attention is not the same as being perfect. It is a new muscle, built by practice. Small acts of slowing, a quiet morning, a single deep breath, a short pause before answering, begin to change how you live. Over time, this gentle rebellion against speed reshapes your life, an open space for calm, for clarity, and for choices that matter. What does it mean to face emotions rather than avoid them? Facing emotions means noticing them, naming them, and letting them be without rushing away. Many people try to push feelings down with noise or tasks. But when we avoid feelings, they grow stronger in hidden ways. Facing them is simple in idea, though not always easy in practice. First, you learn to slow and notice the sensation in your body. Tight chest, quick breath, or heavy shoulders. Next, you give the feeling a name. I feel angry, or I feel tired. Naming reduces the power of the feeling because words create space. Then you ask a gentle question, what does this feeling want me to know? Sometimes a feeling wants rest, sometimes it wants a change, and sometimes it wants you to say no. Accepting this process with softness is healing. It helps diminish dependence on external things that promise quick relief. When you practice facing emotions, you become less controlled by them and more guided by wise choices. Over time, this habit makes life calmer. You will find that feelings pass, that they have seasons, and that your attention, steady and kind, is the most powerful thing you can offer yourself. How does self-attention begin the healing process? Self-attention means giving yourself time, care, and honest listening. It is the opposite of rushing through your inner life. When you give attention to your own needs, you learn what is true for you. Healing starts when you stop blaming yourself for feelings and start curious listening. This means simple acts, sitting quietly, noticing your breath, or writing a short sentence about your day. It can mean setting a small boundary, telling a friend you need a break, or choosing sleep over one more task. These actions teach your nervous system that it is safe to slow down. Over time, safety allows memories and difficult feelings to be felt without panic. Self-attention does not erase the past. Instead, it reduces the past's power by bringing it into the light. You learn to say, "That happened to me, and I am here now." This simple honesty changes how you respond to triggers. With steady self-attention, you replace reactive habits with intentional choices. That is where real change begins. Healing is not a race. It is a patient, daily work of small, kind acts toward yourself. What is present moment awareness, and why does it matter? Present moment awareness is paying attention right now to what is happening. It sounds easy, but our minds often drift to the past or the future. When you practice being present, you find calm and clarity. Presence helps you enjoy simple things. Morning coffee, a walk, a warm message. More importantly, it helps you respond to life instead of reacting. In a moment of stress, being present lets you notice the feeling before it leads you into a habit, like scrolling or snapping. It gives you the space to choose kindness or a quiet pause. Presence also helps you see the small gifts of life. Gratitude grows when you are here, now. When you slow your day, you may find a new taste in meals, a clearer voice in ideas, and more gentle moments with others. Learning presence is practice. Start with 1 minute of focused breathing and build from there. Over time, those minutes add up. The life you want, calmer, kinder, and wiser, grows from these small, present moments. Presence becomes the home of joy and the source of wise actions. How does embracing change bring freedom? Change is the one thing that always arrives. Resisting change feels natural, but it often causes struggle. When you fight what is changing, your energy goes to pushing against life, and you feel tired. Embracing change means saying, "This is happening, and I can meet it." It does not mean you have to like every change or approve of it. It means you accept reality and then choose how to act. Acceptance opens a new space for creativity. When you accept, you can plan, set boundaries, or ask for help. You stop wasting time on what-if scenarios that do not help. Embracing change also helps you grow. You learn new skills, new ways of being, and new kindness toward yourself. Slow, steady acceptance builds resilience, the ability to recover, to learn, and to be present again. This courage to meet change in a calm way is part of the rebellion against speed. Instead of rushing to fix, you slow to understand. In that understanding, you find freedom. You discover that life can move, and you can still be solid inside. What is the link between inner peace and healthy relationships? Inner peace begins inside you, and then it shows up in how you relate to others. When you know yourself, you bring calm into conversations. People sense it. They feel safer to share, to listen, and to grow. A strong connection with yourself means you can offer love without losing who you are. It means you set clear limits when needed, and you ask for space when you need rest. Healthy relationships are not only about closeness, they are also about respect, honesty, and shared growth. When both people slow down, they can learn each other's emotional history without blame. They can say, "I see how that shaped you," and choose kindness. This shared curiosity creates trust. inner peace helps you avoid reacting in old patterns, like pushing or clinging. Instead, you act from choice, and that creates safety. Over time, relationships become a place of mutual support, where both people work on themselves and celebrate each other's progress. That is the real gift. Love that grows, not fights that repeat. How do boundaries protect your energy? Boundaries are simple statements that tell others and yourself what you can give. They are not walls. They are lines of care. When you set a boundary, you protect time for rest, for work, or for calm. Without boundaries, you risk giving away your energy to everything and everyone. That leads to exhaustion and later, resentment. Clear boundaries help you be honest. I need quiet tonight. Or, I can't take calls during work hours. Saying this is not rude. It is an act of self-attention. Boundaries also teach others how to treat you. When people know your limits, they are more likely to respect them. Creating boundaries takes practice. Start small. Try a short boundary and watch how your energy changes. Notice how you feel kinder, more patient, and more present when you protect your time. Boundaries make relationships stronger because they reduce hidden tension. They invite honest conversation and they honor your needs. In a life that moves fast, boundaries are a gentle tool that keep your inner calm alive. Why is gratitude for small things a powerful practice? Gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing to what is here. When you slow down and notice small gifts, a cool breeze, a friend's smile, a warm cup, your mood shifts. Gratitude does not deny hard times. Instead, it adds balance. It reminds you that even in the middle of struggle, simple good things exist. This habit rewires your mind to see more positives and fewer automatic negatives. Start by naming one small thing each morning or before sleep. Say it out loud or write it down. Over weeks, your heart begins to notice more moments of grace. This practice builds presence because gratitude requires attention. It also opens joy. Joy is often quiet, and it grows when you pay attention to small gifts. Gratitude is part of the rebellion against speed. Instead of rushing past life, you stop and you say thank you. That pause changes how you feel and how you treat others. It is a small practice with a deep effect. How do you practice expressing love in simple ways? Expressing love is not only big gestures, it is small, steady acts that show you care. A kind note, a listening ear, or a warm message can be powerful. When you slow down, you notice chances to show care. Simple words like, I see you, or I'm here, matter. Love also grows in daily routines, making tea, asking about someone's day, or giving space when needed. These actions build trust over time. Expressing love requires honesty too. Say what you feel in a calm way. Use clear language and avoid blaming. Love that is honest, small, and frequent becomes a steady force. It is how relationships deepen. Importantly, expressing love to others begins with love for yourself. When you give yourself kindness, you are not empty when you give to others. Slow acts of love add up. They keep relationships warm, even when stress arrives. Choose one small expression of care today and notice the ripple it makes. What does emotional history mean and why understanding it helps? Your emotional history is the story of your past feelings and the ways you learn to cope. It includes childhood lessons, old wounds, and patterns that repeat. Knowing this history is not about blaming anyone. It is about learning why you react in certain ways. When you slow down and study your reactions, patterns appear. Maybe you get quiet when stressed or angry when you feel unseen. Understanding the past gives you a map. It helps you choose new actions rather than repeating old ones. This kind of self-knowledge is gentle and practical. You can ask, "When did I first feel like this?" Or, "What helped me then?" These questions open insight, not guilt. With that insight, you can practice new responses, like asking for help or pausing before you speak. This is not instant change, but steady progress. As you honor your emotional history with attention and kindness, its hold on you weakens. You become freer to build new habits, stronger relationships, and a calmer life. How do dependencies on outside things weaken inner peace? Dependencies look like habits we use to feel better fast. We might lean on shopping, social media, food, or always being busy. These things promise relief, but they only mask feelings for a short time. When we depend on them, our calm depends on conditions outside us. The result is fragile peace, easily broken. True inner peace needs a foundation inside, steady attention, honest choices, and present awareness. Breaking dependencies begins with slowing and noticing the urge. Ask, "What do I want right now?" And "Will this action help me long term?" This pause creates freedom. You might replace a quick distraction with a small act of care, a walk, deep breaths, or a brief conversation. Over time, these choices build real comfort, not temporary fixes. Letting go of dependency does not mean denying joy. It means finding joy that grows from within. The rebellion against speed asks you to choose inner steadiness over quick relief. That steady calm is more durable, and it helps you handle life's ups and downs with more ease. How does courage fit into slowing down? Slowing down is simple, but it takes courage. It means facing feelings that you may have avoided for years. Courage here is gentle, not loud. It is the quiet voice that says, "I will stay with this feeling for a minute." Each time you choose presence over distraction, you practice bravery. This small, steady courage changes the nervous system. It tells your body and mind that you can hold discomfort and that you will be okay. Courage also helps you set boundaries, speak honestly, and ask for help when needed. These actions may feel risky at first, but they build confidence. As you practice, the risk becomes smaller and the reward greater. You begin to trust yourself. You learn that you can face sadness, anger, or fear and still act with kindness. That trust becomes the soil where inner peace grows. In short, slowing down is an act of courage, and courage becomes the engine of lasting change. How do you build a daily practice of self-attention? Start small with simple, clear actions you can repeat. Choose one tiny habit, a 1-minute breath check, a 5-minute walk, or a short moment of gratitude. Do it at the same time each day so it becomes a gentle routine. Keep the practice simple so you do not need perfect conditions. If you miss a day, be kind and begin again. Ask yourself simple questions each evening. Where did I feel calm today? And what used energy? These short reflections help you learn what supports your peace. Over weeks, add one more habit like setting a soft boundary around work time or writing a short note to someone you care about. Small, steady steps create big change. A daily practice is not a checklist of achievements. It is a friendly rhythm that brings you home again and again. It reminds you that healing and growth are gentle, slow, and kind. Keep your voice soft and your goals small. This is how a life of attention and peace becomes real. How do small pauses change your reactions? Pauses are powerful. A tiny pause, one breath, a slow count of 3, can stop an automatic reaction. When you pause, you add space between impulse and action. That space allows thought and sometimes a kinder choice. For example, when anger rises, a pause can prevent a sharp word. When you feel anxious, a pause can let the breath return to normal. Pauses also help in conversation. When someone says something that triggers you, waiting a few seconds before responding reduces regret later. Pauses teach the nervous system to relax, and they change how your day unfolds. Begin with a few pauses. Before checking your phone, before answering a message, and before making a big decision. Notice how your tone softens and how your body calms. These tiny breaks are part of the rebellion against speed. They show that you control your responses, not your habits. Over time, these small pauses become simple reflexes, and life grows steadier as a result. How can you practice compassionate honesty? Compassionate honesty means saying the truth with kindness. It is not harshness, and it is not hiding. It is a clear voice that cares for both yourself and the other person. Start by naming your feeling calmly. I feel hurt when... Then speak briefly about the action, not the person. Use simple words and avoid blame. Compassionate honesty also involves listening. After you speak, give space for the other person to respond. This practice builds trust because people sense your clarity and care. It helps relationships grow because honest talk invites real change. When you slow down enough to be honest, you reduce misunderstandings and you protect your energy from hidden resentments. Practice this in small moments. Ask for help with a task or tell a friend you are tired. Notice how clarity creates ease. Over time, compassionate honesty becomes a habit that keeps connections strong and peaceful. How does gratitude change the brain? Gratitude trains attention. When you focus on what is present and good, the brain notices more of those things next time. This simple shift rewires habit from looking for lack to seeing abundance. Neuroscience shows that small, repeated practices change brain patterns, and gratitude is one of those practices. When you name what you appreciate, your mood lifts and stress can drop. This is not magic. It is slow work, built by repetition. Try a short nightly habit. Name 3 small things you appreciated that day. Say them slowly with feeling. Over weeks, you will feel more present and less driven by constant wanting. Gratitude also increases connection with others. When you say thanks, people feel seen and relationships warm. The rebellion against speed includes this calm practice. Pause, notice, and be grateful. It is a quiet exercise that builds joy and steadiness one day at a time. How do you bring these ideas into busy routines? Busy life is normal, but you can add slow moments inside it. The key is to pick simple, repeatable acts that fit your day. For example, breathe for 1 minute before your first task. Take a short walk after lunch without your phone. Speak a kind sentence to yourself before a meeting. These small additions do not need extra time. They change the quality of your minutes. Another idea is to create gentle boundaries. No messages during the first 30 minutes of your day or a quiet hour before sleep. These choices protect your calm and they create habits of presence. When stress comes, use a pause, name a feeling, and choose one small caring action. Over time, these small shifts collect into a life that feels more steady. The rebellion against speed is not a full stop. It is a reshaping of how you use your time. With practical small changes, a busy routine can still hold deep attention, gratitude, and restful moments. How do we grow with others, not beside them? Growing together means mutual curiosity and a shared willingness to learn. It starts with slowing down in conversations, listening more than fixing. When you listen to someone's story, you learn their emotional history and they learn yours. That shared understanding builds safety. Growth also needs honest boundaries and regular acts of care. Encourage each other to face feelings, to rest, and to set limits. Celebrate small wins and be gentle with mistakes. Growing with someone means you both choose change and you both forgive the slow pace. It is not about making the other person into who you want. It is about being present and choosing love that supports freedom. When relationships include this shared work, they become strong and life becomes fuller. The rebellion against speed then becomes a shared practice. Both people slow, both people pay attention, and both people grow together. What is the simple path toward inner peace and a fulfilling life? The path is steady, gentle, and brave. It begins with a choice to slow down and to face your feelings with honesty. Give yourself attention, name your emotions, and learn from your history. Practice presence, gratitude, and small pauses that change how you react. Set kind boundaries that protect your energy and express love in simple, frequent ways. Embrace change as a teacher and choose courage when comfort asks you to run. Build a daily rhythm of small acts. 1 minute of breath, a brief walk, a gratitude sentence, and repeat them kindly. Grow with others by listening, sharing, and supporting each other's learning. Remember, this is not a quick fix. It is a patient, daily rebellion against the speed that steals life's depth. Over time, these small choices add up, and peace becomes more than a wish. It becomes a way of living. If you practiced one small thing from today's episode, what would it be? Write it in the comments and share where you are listening from. Thank you for being here and for choosing to slow, to feel, and to grow.